Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing kind of a fun video. I actually drew these quite a while back now. I think that was like last summer even. But I decided to draw 3 of the main characters from my comic Aces as characters, or not necessarily as characters, but like as they would appear if they were in like a sort of like 2008 to 2012 Man of Action cartoon, like on Cartoon Network or something. The first one that I went ahead to do was Clay, because he's, you know, the main character of my comic Aces. So that's what I'm doing here. As you can see, I really based his facial structure off of Kevin, as you can see in the reference on screen, because I just feel like Kevin worked the best, and also I've always loved that design for some reason. The colors were kind of tricky for me, as you can probably see here just a little bit. I go back in once I fill in all those black spots and make the line art gray where the black overlaps, and I have to tweak the sort of lines for where the red of the hair is quite a bit, but it wasn't actually as hard as I was expecting. I really enjoyed working on this one. And the background was just like a pre-made background that I got from the Medibang library, I believe. They have like a free library for things. And I think that the sort of fake screenshot turned out really nicely, and I'm very happy with it. I added like noise and text and everything. And then I moved on to Sue, and she was more based off of characters from Generator Rex, especially Cersei. I really based her sort of look off of that more. But I also struck out a little bit more on my own at this point, because I had spent a few hours analyzing the art style, so I felt a bit more confident about how it was turning out. And she was a really fun one, and I sort of did actually base these off of scenes from the comic. I don't think any of these scenes have actually happened yet though, so consider them very vague spoilers. Now, the line art isn't the smoothest thing as possible, but like, looking at the line art for a lot of these cartoon screenshots, it's actually not as clean as I always felt like it was. You can really tell that it was hand-drawn a lot of the times. One thing that I've always enjoyed about the art styles for these shows was, this is gonna sound weird, but like the way they always do lipstick, how it has no lines most of the time, that's always looked really cool to me. And I was really happy to be able to do that with Sue. I played around with her background a lot too, but I did finally get it, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with all of these actually, even though I did them back at like the beginning of summer 2019. So well over a year by this point. And then the third and last one I did was Quentin, and his doesn't have any dialogue or anything, but his also feels really, I don't know, something about this one just feels really cool to me. His hand, that is one of my favorite ways to draw hands when I'm doing foreshortening. If you can't tell, I draw it a lot. Part of me was kind of sad that I didn't get to draw like his eyes in greater detail. It's basically just the shape of the eyes, but when he's using his powers, they don't show up that way, and it just worked better for the piece to do his eyes this way. And it also let me play with the special effects a lot, which that was one thing that I didn't really do a lot with Clay and Sue on this little series that I did. But Quentin, since his powers are like electricity based, I felt like he was a great opportunity to play around with special effects. The color flats for these they took a lot longer than I expected actually, because most of the time I look at this stuff and it's like, yeah, I can just use the paint bucket tool, but the paint bucket tool does not actually work as well as everyone seems to think. I love how these sort of fake screenshots turned out. That's something that I love doing, especially making it look like my comics are from like an actual cartoon that was aired. I played around with the way I was going to do the special effects so much because lightning has always been kind of difficult for me. So I've spent a lot of time practicing it actually. And that's one thing, if something is difficult for you, that's usually what you wind up getting to be the best at because you spend so much time tweaking it and practicing it. I actually used the water brush in Procreate to do the lightning in the background, and I think it worked really well. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing the process for all 3 of these, and hopefully I will see you again next time. God bless and take care!